Hello, everybody. This is Steve with Ghost Trades. I'd like to welcome you to the market update for the week starting November 26th. We're going from November into December this week. There's quite a bit to talk about, quite a bit that's going on in the market. First off, the market had a short day on Friday, but it finished the week positive across the board. The NASDAQ is starting to get a little tired. We are probably a little bit overbought, even if the market's looking to grind higher the rest of the year, which I believe it's going to do. We may see a little bit of a pullback at some point. We're not quite finished with earnings this week. We have Workday, we have Ulta, we have Crowdfund, we have Dell, we have Five Below. So we do still have some meaningful earnings. So there's some opportunity for earnings plays, as well as that might cause a little volatility. A couple of those, especially Workday, CRM, or I'm sorry, WDAY is a symbol on that, and they can move the market a little bit. However, the big news this week is, in addition to the beige book, in addition to unemployment claims, we have some huge news events that will absolutely be moving the market. We have the manufacturing PMI, which tells us how much it's costing for manufacturers to make the products that they put on the shelves. The big one on Wednesday is the gross domestic product quarter over quarter. If we're going to be slipping into a recession, which fewer and fewer people think is going to happen, that number will go down. But more and more people think it's going to stay level. And nobody's really thinking we're going to go higher yet, but that hopefully will happen next year. And then on Thursday, Powell speaks. So we have also a couple of the other Fed chair members speaking throughout the week. You never know when one of those people may say something that's going to move the market. The GDP will definitely move the market one way or the other. The PMI will move the market. Powell speaking will move the market. And so while I'm bullish, I'm absolutely bullish. I think we will end the year higher than where we are here. I think we will have a more defined Santa Claus rally this year than we did last year. But I do think we need to be careful of a couple of things. First, we need to not assume that because the biggest companies are finished their earnings, that there's no opportunity for some volatility caused by some of these bigger companies, Workday, Ulta, Dell, Five Below. So that's one thing to watch out. The other thing to watch out, bluntly, we may be a little bit stretched. We may be a little bit ahead of ourselves. We may be a little bit overbought. And even though, again, I do feel like we're bullish, I feel like we're having the more of a Santa Claus rally feel than we've had in 3 years since the start of the pandemic. I do think we may be a little bit ahead of ourselves, and so I'm going to be very cautious, especially on Wednesday and on Thursday. Wednesday, of course, we get the gross domestic product. So now, heading into the end of the year, I do want you guys to know a couple of things. First off, history repeats itself. Even when we have a tough year like we did 2 years ago, and even last year, the last couple of years have been rough towards the end of the year. Even with that happening, we do almost always see some type of a Santa Claus rally at the end of the year, which is actually the last 2 days of the trading year and the first 3 days of the next year. So it's not the week before Christmas. A lot of people think it is, and a lot of times we do go up actually at that time. But the technical, I guess, definition of the Santa Claus rally time period is what I said, the 2 days before the end of the year and the 3 days of the next year. Also, there is huge evidence that as January goes, so goes the year. We had a fantastic January this year. And even with a couple of down ticks during the year, we're going to end up a fantastic year this year, especially in the NASDAQ. So for this week, I think there's going to be some opportunity, but we're going to have more. Definitely, we will have more volatility than last week. Last week was a pretty easy week with the shortened holiday and the half day on Friday. Pretty easy week. We just grind it up. This week, this coming week rather, is not a given. Last week historically says usually we go up. This coming week, all bets are off depending on the GDP and what Powell says. So I'm bullish, but I'm being careful, and hopefully I'll be able to play some of these earnings as well. So have a great day, a great trading week. Follow us as much as you can on Ghost Trades, and be very, very careful this week. Thanks.